Get up before the rooster, put on my camo. Load up my bow and my rifle and stock the ammo. I'm a bullet with the bullet, but I'm lethal with the arrow. Always down for the hunt, dub turkey and big bucks. Hit the woods and get fitted up. Mossy oak all across my fit, don't be surprised, we do this too.
I be up before the sun with my 30 at 6. Hard body on, I ain't worried about the kick. Yeah, we do this too.
Welcome back, y'all. It's another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. And as always, we are presented to you in partnership with brands that we feel represent the very best of the outdoor industry. So before we get started, we'd like to give a special shout out to Moultrie Products, Ullers Archery, Threads Custom Bowstrings, G5 Outdoors, Blackburn Apparel Company, Deer Pimp Scents and Lures, Vision Clothing, Bluebird Waterfowl Company, Angry Chicken Outdoors, Alps Outdoors, and last but certainly not least, a special shout out to the good folks over at Briley's for leaving a legacy of shooting innovation. Whether you need new cameras to elevate the scouting experience, new arrows, or anything for your archery setups, clothing, scent, or whatever it may be, as a supporter of the podcast, you can use promo code WDTT-PROMO. That's WDTT-PROMO for 15% off anything on the website at UllersArchery.com. Some exclusions may apply. With that being said, let's dive into another episode of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast with your host, Mr. Courtney Williamson.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Williamson. I got a super special guest today, Mr. Kenny Drove. I found him on Instagram through the Dark Willie Nelson, who I had on last week. He said I had to get him on next, so here he is, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Blessed, black, and highly favored, brother.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. So as we was talking about on off air here, you know, I think you said you're from Florida.
No, I'm actually from South Georgia, but I'm like right at the border of Florida, so I'm like 45 minutes from it.
You're right there. Okay, that's what's up. Cool, man. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Man, I'm born and raised South Georgia. Luckily, I was born into an outdoors family and been hunting most of my life ever since I was probably big enough to carry a gun. And before I was able to carry a gun, I was hunting.
That's what's up, man. So with your pops, your granddad, somebody get you into it, or just it was something that was just always in you?
Well, my grandparents was hunters on both sides, and my uncles and all that was hunting. So I kind of grew up hunting with them. And once I got old enough to venture on my own, I've been venturing on my own and, you know, meeting people in the outdoor world and expanding a little bit.
That's what's up, man. So I see your tag right there says Rapid Wings. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So Rapid Wings is a actual Instagram page that me and my cousin started. Doing a little hunting and fishing videos, and I think last year we kind of started and moved toward a little clothing brand, but we still working on it. We still trying to get some kinks out and get some things going, you know.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I'm trying to do I've been testing the water with clothing and just hat, arrow, stuff like that, man. And everybody I try to go through, either they taking forever or can't get my stuff out to me, or you know, just making all excuses or whatever. You know, I've got some good people I'm working with now, man, but it's just hard getting that stuff out, doing it all on your own, man. It's a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah, you're either gonna have to have the time or the money. It's one or the other, you know. It's definitely not something that you're just gonna jump in, and which I knew that. So it was kind of one of those things that I could, you know, do a little bit and see how I do. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do, I keep going, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. So the Dark Willie Nelson, as I had on last week, man, he wouldn't tell me how he got his name. Do you know that story?
I don't.
He wouldn't tell me either. So
I never asked. I just kind of put it with, you know, the Willie Nelson and him being black, I guess. I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to tell me. He said, man, it's just something I go with. He said, everybody, he even had it on his shirt, you know.
Yeah.
And
we're going to have to have that conversation off camera with him.
Yeah, for sure. How'd y'all meet?
Man, Instagram, man.
How'd you?
Instagram. It
That's
was, you know, I don't know actually how it happened, but Instagram, and we kind of linked up, and actually he invited me to come duck hunt in Florida. I've never been, but and me and him been cool since then, and we probably talk every day or 2 or 3 times a day now.
yeah. I mean, he's a good dude, man. We talked for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours after we got off the podcast, just talking about different stuff, man. He's a really, really good dude. And, I think
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
try to get him up here, Kentucky turkey opener in April. Because my son is dying to kill a turkey, and I ain't the greatest at calling. Like, I know how to get to the turkeys, but
Uh-huh.
I ain't the greatest at calling. And he said he can call a duck or a turkey off the moon. So that's what he told me.
Are you
So
gonna put in the work, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what he can do.
I ain't the caller, I'm the killer.
I hear you. Hey, that's me, dog. I ain't the caller, but when that
Yeah.
bird comes in, or that turkey, that duck, that dove, whatever, I'm
You
gonna
just
kill
put just give me the gun if you want it dead. I'm gonna shoot it.
it.
I don't know about the calling it. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna sit here and tell you I can call it.
I I've had a call. I had a buddy make me a custom call. I got it. I got it right here. Actually, it's got my logo and everything on it, man. I can't blow this thing worth a damn.
Well, I'm still a work in progress with the duck call, but I believe I can get the ducks in the water. But the turkey call, I I've been turkey hunting maybe 3 times and seen 2 turkeys while I was turkey hunting. Never
Oh,
pulled the
really?
trigger on one.
Oh man, I got 5 or 6 fans in here. A couple at my mom's. I've killed a few, but I can't tell you how many I missed.
Man, I never even hit a turkey with a vehicle.
Yeah, it's something like turkey hunt, man. Like, so was something that I didn't grow up turkey hunting. I grew up rabbit hunting, quail hunting, squirrel, stuff like that. Because Dad didn't deer hunt or do nothing like that. So I didn't start turkey hunting until I got to college. I didn't start deer hunting until I got to college. And duck hunting, this is my 3rd year in.
Gotcha.
So I'm still learning everything. So I see on Instagram, man, that you've been out there just slaughtering the ducks.
Man, I ain't gonna say it like that. We get 1 or 2 when we get lucky. But I grew up small game and deer hunting, and deer hunting mostly. But man, I got into duck hunting a couple years back. It's a crazy story. My cousin went there. My cousin went duck hunting, and he had some duck poppers, and he was like, "Hey man, try one of these." So I tried a popper, and I'm like, "Man, what's this?" He was like, "It's duck." And since then, I was like, he was like, "You like it?" I was like, "Yeah." "When you going back?" He's like, "Next weekend." I was like, "All right, I'll be there." "What I need?" He's like, "Get you some waders and shotgun." I was like, "Well, I got a shotgun." Man, I've been hunting ever since. Thousands of dollars down the line now.
Man, so deer hunting is where my heart is. My deer hunting will always be my heart.
I
But the
used to say
past
that.
3 years, dude, I've got bit by that waterfowl bug bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad.
I used to love deer hunting, but now I miss a deer hunt any day to go hunt a duck.
Man, I'm getting there. Like, I love deer hunting, don't get me wrong, man. But it's just something about being in that timber or sitting out in that field and that blind, that layout when them geese flying over, dude, it's a whole different ball game.
And it's hard right now because I love the timber for the ducks, but it's something about them geese flying over you, and you can almost just reach out that layout and grab him.
Yeah, man. Like, we call them 747s here in Kentucky. I don't know what y'all call them, but that was the name that my cousin had always called him, growing up, because he's been hunting them for a while. So my first ever goose hunt was last year
Mm.
with some buddies of mine I used to play softball with. He said, "Hey, bro, you got to drive about an hour and a half up here. Like, we're gonna make your first goose hunt good." I said, "All right, cool." So we came up there, and I had a cameraman with me that day. I was like, "Oh, we about to slaughter them." Man, we had probably 20 geese fly over, and our call man thought that they were going to circle back around, and they never did. So we end up killing, I think, one little straggler that came on later. So I was like, man, all them geese just flew over and nobody called them. And he's like, oh, man, you got to come back Saturday. I said, all right. So we come back Saturday. And, of course, I don't have a cameraman then.
And
man, we got a 4-man limit with 3 bands.
It's something about having that camera with you, man.
Yeah, it is. So I don't even count my first one. I count that second one as my first one used when I tell people the story. So we got 3 bands. We have 4 guys with us. And, they put in all the work and stuff. And they was like, hey, man, you ain't getting the band this time. I said, man, I ain't worried about no band. I'm just happy to be out here shooting these geese, man. But
one thing about them geese, if you got them pattern right and they doing it right, they coming.
Yeah, for sure.
They coming.
I tell a lot of people too, because I get a lot of questions about like hunting in general, but lately I've been getting a lot of questions about waterfowl, and they were like, what's the key? I said, well, around here in Kentucky, unless you want to drive about 3 hours to Western Kentucky, where the Mississippi meets the Ohio River, you got to do a lot of scouting. And 9 times out of 10, the places that you're scouting has already been leased. So basically, once the season's over, you better start getting on that phone, getting on Onyx, and start making phone calls and making preparations for next year.
Yeah.
Because if you wait until the season's about here, you might as well just go hunt public. And I don't mind hunting public, but I'd rather hunt private if I could.
Well, I grew up hunting private for the most part. I just started hunting public probably like 2 years ago, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed, because private, we know what we got.
Right.
But the public, we can let our private birds kind of rest a little bit and go find some public birds. So that was the joy in the public land. But I think last year I didn't even hunt public around here anyway. But even going out to Arkansas, it's usually hunting public. I enjoy hunting the public more than I do the private.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I got some buddies. We go back to Western Kentucky about once a year, sometimes twice, just depending on my buddy's schedule. Shout out to Lance, shout out to Mackenzie. They're both big. They got me into duck hunting. But man, I was watching some videos on TikTok the other day of that Arkansas opener. Did you see them? Did you see them videos
with the boats and all?
Yeah, dude.
So my first Arkansas hunt, I went last year, and we hunted late season, and we pull up to the boat ramp, and they're like, oh, it's 50, 60 boats. And I'm like, 50 or 60 boats? Oh, that ain't nothing. There was 100 yesterday. Like, man, where all these people going? And then this year, but it was kind of regulated different last year, where the WMA was hunting, you had to wait so many minutes before the next boat can go, or so many seconds before the next boat can go. I forgot how long it was. So it was kind of, you wasn't right on top of each other then. But this year it was way smoother. We went opener and, put your boat in and take off. It was probably maybe 6 or 7 boats, maybe 10 at the most when we got there. So we was kind of early.
Yeah.
Just eased off, but we got beat the second day to the hole. So
yeah. Also, you was down there in that madness.
Yeah. But we wasn't there. They was somewhere else, but we wasn't at that boat ramp.
I was about to say, man, because some of them boat ramps that I was watching, like people was getting in fights in the boat, throwing decoys at each other, running people over in the boat and hitting each other in the boat. I'm like, man, what in the world? Where is this at? And they was like, Arkansas opener. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard the stories of it, but I never lived it. I ain't trying to live it.
Yeah. I mean, we got some public land around here where I hunt, man, but it's just, I grew up in a very small town in Kentucky, man, and it's backwoods. And I think I had a decent upbringing. I had mom and dad was both still in the picture. I had a great family growing up, but I experienced some stuff in this county that I really hope my son does not experience, if you know what I'm saying.
And
And then outside of there, people's like, you know, hey man, you need to come hunt with me in this, you know, this WMA that's about 35, 40 minutes from us in this little town called Raywick. And Raywick is known for not liking us. Like we ain't been, you know, it's been a sundown town for I don't know how long. And I was like, man, I ain't going. They're like, man, we ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. I was like, yeah, but if I go, I'm putting myself in a situation that could probably go south.
Yeah.
Just because of the color of my skin. Now, when they start talking to me and understand that I know what I'm talking about, but 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna get that far. They're gonna see that I'm a black man and something's gonna be said and something's gonna happen. Either we throwing hands or somebody's gonna pull out a pistol or something.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to put myself in that situation. I'm too damn old to be getting in situations like that.
Yeah, we ain't trying to go there. We trying to hunt.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it back home to my family, man. And like that's one part of hunting as an African American male around where I hunt that some people just don't understand where I'm coming from. And I'm like, man, y'all are cool to go there because everybody there looks like you. But when I come through there, somebody they don't know, and I'm a different, you know, different skin color than them. There's a lot of questions, and there's a lot. It's backwoods, so that mentality is still getting taught. That hate is still getting taught down there. So it's like, what's he doing here? You know what I'm saying?
I'm from a small place myself, but I'm gonna say it ain't. I'm not gonna say it's not here, but it's not bad. You know,
right?
You got more of, you know, it's kind of everybody kind of seems to get along a little bit. You know,
yeah.
And it's nothing to see a black guy with a group of white guys in the duck hole or in the woods. You know, because I actually geese hunt with a group of white guys. I'm the only black guy to hunt with them.
Right.
But you know, we've never came to a place where we had that situation where, you know, well, what he doing with y'all, you know? So I can honestly say I hadn't bumped into that situation, but I know it's out there somewhere.
It's out there, and like around here, I would think I'm pretty good because most of the guys I hunt with are, you know, they're white guys, but we're hunting public or we're hunting private land. So you know, but I just don't want to put myself in that situation over there. But like when I go to Western Kentucky on public with my two buddies, Mackenzie and Lance, man, like they know everybody there, and even the ones that don't know, man, they're coming up to me because you got to check in. It's like this little, it's in Barlow, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows about it if you're from Kentucky. It's in Ballard County, Kentucky. And you got to check in at this little post office, and everybody's got their boat stuff. And like, I don't care if you're white, black, green, purple, they're gonna come up to you, and it's all love up there, you know. And that's what I like. But like down here, where I grew up, you know, and I got a pretty good name in the town from, you know, sports and just being cool and whatever. My mom was a teacher in the town or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you go a county over where somebody don't know me, that's when you get into problems.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to explain that to people when they ask me why I don't like hunting, you know, public land. I'm like, I'll go, but I got to do some research before I go. Because
I would actually say Arkansas is a place that everybody seems to, I don't know, it's usually when I'm in Arkansas, I'm with a group of black guys. So, but everybody always, you know, they're so welcoming and, you know, come up and want to talk to you. And, you know, y'all hunt duck, you know, or y'all deer hunt. No, we duck hunt. What? You know, But I actually met some people from South Georgia when I was there a couple of times, like, you know, just out duck hunting. And we in the store talking, and they was like, oh, well, we like stay 5 minutes from each other or 10 minutes from each other.
Right. Yeah, that's what I like too, man. If I go out of town, I haven't been out of town hunting much. I went to Georgia the past couple years to the 24/7 dove hunt down there with them.
Okay.
And you know, I talked to Easy quite a bit down in Florida. That's my guy. I've talked to Rick quite a bit. I've had Daryl on the podcast. Like everybody down there was just so welcoming.
Yeah.
No matter what. And even when I go out of town just to go with the family or something, and people see my hat or people see, if I got like the 24/7 hat on or something, camo or whatever, they'll come up to me, hey man, you hunt? And it's just like, it's love, man. That's what I like about, the hunt community. But you do get in those certain situations, which I hope you never do. It's just like, man, what's he know about hunting? And like gun shops around here, man, like everybody knows me around here, like gun shop wise. But if I go an hour north or an hour south to a gun shop, when I walk in, it's like, what you looking for? A Draco? What you looking for? A Glock? Like,
hey,
oh,
I've experienced one of those gun shops, but after we had a little conversation,
yeah,
I actually bought a few guns from. It was in another county, and I walked in, and I didn't look like I knew about the rifles and everything, and he kind of went to the Draco and the Glock, which I love my Glock, but hey,
I love my Glock, but I was not looking for no Draco that day. I was actually looking at duck guns, and once I told them what I was looking for, they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah," and their attitude quickly changed, which I quickly walked out, and went to another store, man. But it's just, how do you think we can change that narrative? I try to ask everybody this on my podcast, but that narrative, you walk in, it's just, you get, I don't know if you've ever got that feeling, but I get it a lot. You just walk in and you're just like, oh shit, something's, you know what I'm saying? That feeling you get, it's like, oh no, this ain't gonna be good,
Yeah, I think it's just people upbringing of how they look at certain people, and they look at us like, okay, well, this is what we see on TV about them,
right?
So this is what we think they want, and that's just kind of how they stick to it. But then when you show them different, then it's, oh, well, maybe this guy knows a little something, and usually they turn out to be okay.
Yeah, they do usually.
What I end up doing was, it's a local gun shop here that I've been dealing with for years since they've been open, and it's to the point I can go in that store and go behind the counter. If they're busy and I want to look at a gun, I walk behind the counter and pick up the gun I want and look at it. And it's, hey man, where you been? What you looking for?
Yeah.
So that's, I kind of stick to that one store unless they just can't get it.
Yeah.
And then I ask them, well, hey, see who got it, and I go get it from there. But other than that, I kind of just stick to that one store and just buy at least all my guns and ammo out of it that I don't order.
Right. Yeah, I've got 3 gun stores like that. One is right, like literally 30 minutes from my house. It's called Woods Armory. Shout out to Scott Wood. Like when I first met him, he was selling guns out of his he had like a little shack out beside his house, and he had his FFLs and everything, but he was only open on Sundays. And I met him, and me and him's been cool ever since then. And the other one is Big Al's Guns. It's up in Campbellsville, Kentucky. And me and Big Al's been rocking forever. And then I used to play a lot of slow pitch softball. And I met this guy named Dylan Gilbert. And come to find out, his dad and him own a gun store about an hour and a half from us. And all 3 of them gun stores ain't been nothing but love from them. So I love them to death. But some of them other gun stores I went to, we cool now. But like when I first went in there, it's just like you get that feeling.
Yeah.
I try to tell everybody, man, I treat everybody how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to get upset. It takes a lot for me to get mad. But I just feel like the narrative's changing a little bit now, where it's not as bad as it used to be back in the day. But I would love it for just to get to that point, especially for my son. He's 7 years old.
Yeah.
When he gets older and walking a gun shop, he's not being judged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of crazy places for gun stores, the store now is called South Georgia Outdoors. If y'all ever in Grady County, South Georgia, check it out. But it actually started inside of a drugstore.
Really?
Yeah. So you can come get your prescription filled and get you a gun.
Get you a gun. That's
And they kind of bought another place and renovated it, or I think they built it, and now it's like one of the top stores in Southwest Georgia for, outdoors, whatever you need to hunt, fish.
Right.
They had a bow shop, but they sold out. But yeah, they got a little bit of everything in there.
That's what's up. How far are you from Statesboro?
Statesboro, probably like 4 or 5 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah. Off camera, I got a story about Statesboro. I don't really want to tell it on the podcast just yet, but dude, that's the maddest I think I've ever been in my entire life in Statesboro.
Yeah, it's what's the college that's there close to it? Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Basically, I was down there. We were playing softball. We had a softball tournament down there. And I was just riding around and come to find I'm a big blues guy. And there's a bluesman by the name Blind Willie McTell. He's from down there. And I was just riding around, and he's got a song called Statesboro Blues.
Mm-hmm.
When I seen that sign, I was like, I gotta go. So I just went venturing out by myself like I normally do. But when I got in this gun shop, I didn't think I was gonna. To be honest, like to this day, I didn't think I was gonna make it out there. And that's all I'll say about it. But
yeah, we'll talk about that one off camera.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one off camera. But yeah, speaking of hunting, what you was talking about, bow. Do you shoot a bow?
Man, I'm newly in the bow world. This is my first full year hunting with a bow. I started last year. I lived the crossbow live for one hunt and shot at the same deer 3 times and never touched it. And I got rid of it that day. Yeah. I got a compound bow, and my first deer I killed with a bow was a buck.
That's what's up.
I killed him earlier this year, and I think I've killed like 2 doe with it. That's
what's up. What kind of bow you shoot?
I got a bear right now.
Yeah, bear. Ain't nothing wrong with a bear bow.
I like it, but Willie told me it's time for a real bow, but I like my bear.
Yeah, Willie gonna try to get you to go to them high dollar Matthews. I know exactly what he's about to.
Hey, I gotta give it to Willie though. He talked me into shooting my first deer the other week. He called me. He was like, "Hey man, what you doing?" It's like, "Shooting the truck. What's up?" He's like, man, you need to be in the woods." I'm like, "That's where I'm headed." He's like, "All right, hey man, you gonna kill a deer today?" So I was like, "All right, I'll call you when I kill it." Man, I was there 30 minutes. Buck walk out, dead on him. I called him back. I was like, "Hey, I got it." He said, "I told you." He was like, "Hey man, this other guy that I hunt with, he never killed anything before. He just killed a buck too." But Willie did also tell me, he was like, "Man, shoot a doe." I was like, "No, man, I ain't gonna shoot no doe." He's like, "Man, this your first deer. Shoot a doe." I was like, "No, I ain't gonna shoot no doe." It's like, I was like, "Man, this doe had spots on it." Now listen, Willie told me, by the time you drag him to your truck, the spots will be off of him.
That sounds like something he say too.
Hey, that's what he told me. He said, by the time you get him to the truck, the spots will be off of him.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll eventually, like I said, you'll get. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with bear. Bear makes a great bow, but like you said, you'll upgrade pretty soon.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get another one. I really just bought that one to see if I actually like bow hunting.
Right.
And now I'm chasing a nice buck, and hopefully I see him before the season out, but probably next year I'll probably venture out and get me another one. I don't know what it'll be yet, but
hey, everybody makes a good bow. Like me and him was talking about, everybody makes a good bow. It's just all personal preference and what feels right to you.
Right.
Some people like Matthew, some people like Bowtech. I shoot a Prime. I got some buddies that shoot Elite. Darton. I mean, they all make a good bow. Hoyt everybody makes a good bow. Just find something you feel comfortable with. It feels good to you, and whatever you can afford, whatever in your price range, man. Just go out there, just kill it, man.
Yeah, that's why I was telling him. I was like, man, I gotta see if I like it first. If I like it, which, man, I hadn't touched the gun this year, the deer hunt. So
yeah,
I think I'll eventually get me another bow and probably continue to bow hunt. I enjoy it.
Bow hunting's fun, man. I used to shoot a lot of 3D archery last year. I didn't shoot much this year just because work and just different things. But once you get into those, once you really get into bow hunting, you'll start looking for, like 3D animals to shoot and like total archery challenges and stuff like that. That's when you really like hone in. Like they help you, especially in the hunting woods, man. Because like some of these shots, they're 7,500 yards away. But if you can, get your arrows like that 7,500 yards away, when that deer walks out of 40 yards, that's a chip shot.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fun, man. And I mean, I think you've got some down your way in Georgia. I think there's some in Florida that you can look up. We used to travel quite a bit, going to these 3D shoots. My best friend is big into it. He goes everywhere, but I ain't got the time. And I love archery, don't get me wrong, but he's got like my archery levels here. His is like way above mine.
He really into it.
Yeah, he's really into it. Me, I like my guns, my shotgun, especially duck hunting, man. Like when I first started,
that's me.
Yeah, as when I first started, I had old Mossberg 500 my dad bought me. Still got it to this day. And I met some dudes from Texas, Power Circle Outdoors. Shout out to them. And they was like, when you come duck hunting with us, do not bring out Mossberg. I said, man, I got some retays too. That's my duck gun. Those are my retays. And he's like, don't even bring out Mossberg. He said, we will laugh you out of the truck. We will laugh you out of the blind. I said, all right. I want to bring it down there just to show them what I can do with it. But
hey, it's always that starter gun. I got a 20 gauge pump Winchester.
Oh yeah.
And we was in the duck hole my first time. And when that first group came in and we was shooting, I was pumping. They had semi-automatics and it was just like, man, I was like, I gotta get me one of them.
Yeah.
Gotta get me one of them.
There's something different in the duck hole.
Yeah, the next time we went, I had me an automatic.
Yeah. Heck yeah. What kind of gear do you run in the duck woods? Like from your waders to your shotguns to your decoy, run it down for me.
We'll start with my waders. I actually started off with tideweed.
Okay.
But I heard Willie talk about me. I'm a Drake fanatic, if Drake sell it, I'll buy it, I probably can sell Drake some stuff back. But yeah. Decoys. We hunt wood ducks here, so you don't really need decoys.
No, you don't.
I use a lot of dive bomb stuff. But shotguns. I actually started off with a Winchester. I bought a Stoger waterfowl edition 3500.
3500, yeah, that's a good gun.
I still, it goes with me to this day. I got a 20 gauge Beretta A300.
Yeah,
that's me and Willie got the same identical gun. Actually, didn't know it, but until we started talking about it. But I love that 300. And I got a Browning A5 Wicked Wing.
Oh, you got a Wicked Wing. Yeah, my buddies run them. They love them guns, man.
So I'm gonna tell you like this: I got the 16 gauge in the Wicked Wing for quail hunting, and I shot quail with that gun, and I was like, I gotta have a 12 gauge, and probably when the 20 gauge get released, I probably get a 20 gauge in it. It's the best shooting gun I ever owned.
Yeah.
Now that Beretta is nice, but that A5 is hard to beat.
I've heard that. I ain't never shot a Beretta. I've never shot a Browning. I shot one of my buddies had a Benelli, and I did not like it at all. Super Black Eagle 3. And then my buddy Dylan, he had a retake, and he's like, bro, you need to go somewhere that's got a range and shoot one of these. And I shot one. I've been in love with it to this day. I've got two 12 gauges. I'm looking to get me a 20 pretty soon. I just like the wet shoulders. I like the wet points. It just feels good to me. It's just personal preference, you know.
That's how I am with that Browning. Like it, I love that Beretta, like 20 gauge. If a duck come in a duck hole and it's a tight hole with that 20 gauge, it's dead. It don't matter.
Yeah,
But after shooting that Browning, oh man, it's life changing.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I like that Stoker, but I won't pick it up right now.
You should. What kind of shells you shooting?
I'm bouncing in between Migras and Kents. I like Migras. Like Migra has been geese, duck. They've been great, but I got a storage full of Kents that I bought when shells was hard to find that I gotta shoot. So I like Kents too, but I like Migra. So I'm kind of in between. I got both of them, so I just shoot them both.
I got you. Yeah, I I'm the guy. I shoot whatever's on sale. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So
I'm not brand faithful at all, and I basically found some heavy metals on sale at Academy last year. I think it might be the year before. They're like $14 a box. They were on clearance. I bought everything they had, and I think I got 3 boxes of them left, and then I've got some those Winchester whatever Super X's, but I've been wanting to try the Migras. I've been wanting to try the Kents, stuff like that, man. But I got shells, so I'm like,
yeah,
I want to burn through them first. But if there's a shotgun company out there that sells shells that would love to send me some shells, I'll try them out, whatever, and I'll give you an honest review. But I'm the guy that my
now
buddy
see
Justin, I'm the cheapest person in the world, but
hey,
I just shoot whatever's on sale.
that's how I was when it was hard to find shells. I was like, whatever's in the store, I gotta buy it because
Right.
and I ended up with cases of this kind, cases of this kind, or half a case of this, half a case of this. I will say Winchester Drylock, 20 gauge,
Uh-huh.
deadly, deadly. But man, I got so many. Like I literally, when I went out to Arkansas, I took half a case of Kent's, half a case of Migras,
Yeah.
and it was like I got to burn through them. But I last year I actually shot Migras all year, and I was like, man, I got Kent shells that I had for 2 years. I gotta shoot.
Right. Yeah, I'm my buddy Dylan. He just came back from Reelfoot Lake, which is in Tennessee, and I was like, "Man, what shells was you shooting?" He said, "Man, I've been shooting these Migra Timbers," and he's like, "Let me tell you, dude." He's like, "Them things hit like a Mack truck."
I've heard that. I never shot them before.
And then my boys in Texas, they shoot those Epic shot shells,
Mhm.
and they make an Epic stack with tungsten and bismuth. He said them things hit like a Mack truck. But as you know, everything in the waterfire world is pretty expensive, and like a
Oh
case of
yeah,
it, like $550, $600, and I'm just like, I gotta shoot what I got first. Then I'll venture out. So
I like that Migra 2-4 stack.
the 2-4, I've heard about that 2-4 stack.
2-4 stack. That's usually what I get. I go at the 2-4 stack. That's what I've been burning out of. And um, with my with the Kents, I was shooting number twos, and if I was shooting geese, I was shooting BBs.
Yeah, I got some buddies. That's all they shoot is BBs for geese. I was shooting BBs and I ran out, and then I just started shooting my threes that I had, and they did good, but I just been watching like a lot of YouTube videos. These people shooting these Migras and all these like Boss and different type, and they're pulverizing these shells. These ducks, and I'm like, man, what? They can't be just shooting steel. And then I got to researching. It's got bismuth and tungsten and everything in it. I was like, okay, I got to step my game up.
Yeah, I've shot Boss. I think I've shot Boss out of 28 gauge. I was just fooling around and we went duck hunting with 28 gauge and some Boss shells. They was work. They work.
Yeah. I just think it's like I said, it's all personal preference like that.
Yeah.
But my like when I first started duck hunting, man, I had I bought some Rogers waders, which they were fine, but I think I ended up getting them uninsulated, and I didn't realize. And I'm talking about I'm standing out there in water up to my chest, damn near, and I'm freezing to death. And I'm like, I gotta do something different for next year. So basically all my stuff now is all banded stuff. I had some Sitka stuff, but I just got tired of spending $8,000 every time I was.
Oh yeah, the Sitkas.
I was like, man, because everybody was wearing it, man. You know, you see everybody. I go to the NWTF every year in Nashville to the convention, and you'll walk 3 steps and see somebody with Sitka on. I'm like, man, I got to get some of that stuff. So I started researching it, and I looked it up. I was like, good God. And so I started buying a piece at a time, and I just got tired of buying all them pieces.
Yeah,
and I wasn't no warmer than I was, so I started wearing bandit, man. Bandit makes this anaphylaxis system that I love, and I can just go out there and just put a hoodie under my waders, and I'm straight. So that's what I've been wearing lately. It keeps me warm. So
I actually looked into the Sitka. I didn't see and it works. I will say it works, but I just didn't see a breaking point to make me leave from something that I was wearing at work to go buy something else that didn't work. You know,
right.
eventually I might get me a little Sitka, but you know, I've actually liked the Drake. It was it worked. When I started off with the tie weave, my tie weaves actually worked, but I felt like I needed a little better wader, so I got the Drake. Both my tie weaves and my first pair of Drake waders were both insulated. This year I finally went uninsulated because we was in Arkansas last year, and I was with a guy named Brian Leopard and Rich. I forget Rich name on here. I think it's King Richard or Richard Carter.
It's King Caesar.
King Caesar, yeah.
King
So
Caesar.
we was out in Arkansas, and them boys had on Sitka, and we was out scouting, walking, and man, we got to the hole, and I'm sweating bullets. It's 30 degrees, and they look at me, and they're like, "You all right, man?" I was like, "Man, I'm hot." And they was like, "Man, you better get you some uninsulated waders." So when I got back from that trip, that next year we went, I had some uninsulated. But you know, it's just, you know, I feel like we were sitting in the water when we went to Arkansas this last time. They were like, "You cold?" "Oh man, I'm warm." You know, it's just you gotta, if you know, Sika got their thing where you buy these systems where if you put on the right clothes from Drake, or you put on the right clothes from Bandit, or you put on the right clothes from Rogers, or you put on the right clothes from whoever, you're gonna be warm.
Yeah.
You're gonna be warm.
Yeah, I tell everybody that goes hunting, whether you deer hunting, whatever, it all starts with that base layer.
Yeah.
And I don't want no cotton touching me on my base layer. I want some merino wool, some alpaca, something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I can start putting some couple layers on. Because my thing is, man, I didn't want to put so many layers on where I couldn't draw
can't
back
move.
my bow,
Yeah.
and I can't move, you know. So now, man, I done figured out the stack that I wear. Some merino wool base layers, the banded sails, and then the Appalachia hoodie. And I might put on a wader jacket, I might not, depending on how cold it is. But my gloves and everything, I'm good now. So I ain't gonna worry about getting cold.
Yeah, that'd be my last thing worrying about getting cold.
Yeah. And I always tell everybody, my feet get cold and my hands get cold, I'm ready to go back to the truck.
Time to go. If you can't keep them feet and them hands warm, it's time to go.
Yeah, man.
You got to keep them warm.
So switching gears here a little bit, man. So there's a lot of big name companies out there that I feel like are missing a little niche from this side of the hunting community with African Americans and just people of color in general. How do you think, in your opinion, that we get our name more out there where some of these big name companies will start taking us serious?
I think it's just one of them things where it's right place, right time. And I'm going to just say timing, because, you know, you may know somebody that I don't know that I may have something that they want. You may know them, but you may not have what they're looking for. but you
Right.
know them, you know.
Right.
So I think it's a timing thing, and once once they see that, like you said, we do this too, we can do it, then I think it'll be an easier move for us. But it's like we don't have that, or some of us didn't have that easy streak,
Mhm.
so we got to get out here and grind for it.
Yes, sir.
And I think it actually be better when you got to get out here and grind for it, and it's not given to you, and you know, because some of us got something that company needs. We don't know it, but they know it, and once they see it, they gonna come get you.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Because like, I got some buddies, man. They're big time. They're the big time hunters, man. They're trying to get sponsorships and this and this and this. And it's like, man, they're racist. They're this and that. I said, no, I wouldn't say that, man. I said they might be looking for something in particular that you're not giving them just yet. But next year they might be looking for what you offer, and then they might reach out then. I said, but we gotta get out here and grind. That's why I make sure, all the partners that I'm working with, I wouldn't say I'm sponsored by anybody. I got a lot of people I work with. I make sure, I reach out to them about every couple months and, ask them, hey, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Just to make sure that I'm doing it right. 9 times out of 10, I'm getting good feedback. I'm tagging them,
Right.
I'm shouting them out on the podcast and whatever. But like I tell everybody, nothing in this life free.
Nothing at all.
People's not just going to give you product and not expect, something in return. So
Right.
somebody sends you some product, man, you better get out and take pictures with it. Tag them. They're not just going to be like, because next year, they gotta,
It's 1,000 other people want that position that you're in right now, and all it takes is one mistake, and you're out of there.
Well, the one mistake, man, is like, well, what did I do? Like, well, we're looking for somebody that's going to tag us more and use our product more and kind of put our sponsorship out there more.
Right.
But you got to get out there and get it, man. I feel like once you do that, more people will start, coming to you and be like, hey, here's my stuff. Can you do the same for me? Absolutely.
Right.
I'll do that. But I think it feels better. I think it means more to you when somebody gives you something and you just grind. You just start grinding for them or whatever, and then you start getting like phone calls from these other companies, man. It makes, I don't know, man, it's just a different feeling when somebody just giving you something.
I would definitely say this though, if with that, I feel like if you build yourself in a manner that, you got that following and you got this without that company, and don't let that company build you to that person, then you already that person. That company, I ain't gonna say that company needs you, but that company needs you. You don't need that company. So if you're that person already and that company comes to you, then guess what? It's another company out there probably saying, dang, we should have got him, versus, this company builds you up to that person and then they cut you off. Now you nobody, basically. Versus, hey, I was somebody before I came here. I'm still somebody. I just partner with y'all, but I can move another way, and it's probably another company that. So I always feel like, I would rather be. I would rather have that reputation myself before a company, and then if a company attaches to me, then I'm already that person.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it too. And a lot of people's like, well, man, you need to start trying to get with so and so and so and so and so and so. I'm like, yeah, just because they're a big name company, I also have to believe in your morals. My morals and your morals pretty much have to align. I'm just not going to sponsor your stuff or shout out your stuff just because you're a top 500 company or a Fortune 500 company in this industry. I've also got to believe what you stand for. And that's what a lot of, my buddies is like, they don't understand that. It's like, man, you should try to get on with this and this and this. I was like, that'd be fine if they reach out, I'd look into them, but I'm not going to say that I would just because of who they are.
Right. I don't know what you're looking for,
Yeah. I don't know what you're looking for or whatever, but I said the ones that do reach out to me, like I've been doing my damnedest that, lately to make sure that my name and their name is synonymous. Like this year, I haven't been able to hunt much because I had a work injury at work. So I've been off work for almost 2 months now. So I haven't been out in the woods. I've been on workman's comp, but I still try to make sure that I'm outside taking pictures and, doing what I can
Right.
to still shout out those companies. And, my podcast is a big thing with that too. I'm not as big as some people. I might get there one day, but that's not the goal. My goal is basically to find that one kid out there that might be wanting to get to the outdoors, whether they're been into it their whole lives and kind of try to hide it from people, or they're an inner city kid just trying to find something new. If I can reach that one kid, I've done my job.
And that's always a good thing, man. Even I look at it as even not even kids. I know some adults that came to me and were like, "Hey, man, you'll take me hunting?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "No, man, I'm for real." I was like, "Yeah." If you serious about going, you want to go, hey, I got the gun. I'll teach you what you need to know, and we'll go hunting. I ain't gonna say we're gonna kill something. We're gonna hunt.
Yeah, we're gonna hunt. It ain't all about killing.
Yeah.
I mean, and people say, man, people, on TV make it look so easy. I said, yeah, but the thing is, they could be out there for 2 weeks straight,
right,
to get those little 10 minutes that you see on TV. And I said, or they could be paying $2,000-$3,000 or more to hunt these high fence deer. I said, you never know what's going on. I said, but
right,
it ain't as easy as it is on TV. Now you might get lucky every now and then and kill like the biggest deer you ever killed your first time going hunting, but it's a pretty slim possibility that's gonna happen. You can't get that to some people's heads, man. They just like, man, the buck commanders and the duck commanders and Michael Waddell, they make it look so easy. I'm like, they got cameramen and they got a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. So I could pay to go here and hunt, and I know I'm gonna kill something.
So that's what they do for a living. Like they ain't got a 9 to 5 like me and you's working. They hunt for a living. They're sponsored by 1,000
everybody,
companies, and that's what they do. So, but heck yeah, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you hopping on this podcast, man. The Willie Nelson, man, he's something else, man. Me and him, like I said, he had me dying off camera, man. Like I said, we were just chopping it up off camera, but for about 2 hours, and he's just telling me all these stories and just whatever, man. He's a great dude, man. But
yeah, I gotta get up there to his camp and show him how to hunt, man. He tell me he'll kill it, but
that's what he said, man.
Yeah,
that's what he told me.
He'll kill it.
That's what he said, man. But yeah, man, it's one question I ask just about everybody that comes on the show. If you can hunt for anything and go anywhere, what are you hunting and where are you hunting?
That's a good one. I would probably, I don't know actually where, but I would probably want to go kill like a moose with a bow.
Moose with a bow. Heck yeah.
And I would definitely want it to be snowing.
So you want the full effect.
Yeah. And I want to be up close and personal. I think that'll be a hunt of a lifetime.
Yeah, you could track it better than the snow, that's for sure, with the blood trail.
Smart man. Smart man. That's why I wanted the snow.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. But yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. If there's anything I can ever do for you, man, I'm here in Kentucky. I don't mind traveling to you or whatever you need me to do. If you got some shows or something you're going to and you want to link up and go just hang out, get dinner, whatever you want, man. If I can be of any help to you in any way, man, you just reach out to me.
Hey, man, it's likewise on my end, man.
Yeah, man. So how can people get a hold of you on social medias, man, if they're looking to ask you any questions or anything?
You can reach me at Rapid Wings, and that's Wings with a Z, or Kenny Dro, KennyDro.
That's what's up.
I think it may be 229, but Kenny Dro, I think.
Yeah, you'll find him. Yeah, Kenny Dro is what I think when you find, I think as soon as you type in Kenny Drew, I think you'll pop up. So
I'm probably the only one with hunting stuff on this page.
yeah, you'll find him. So, but yeah, man, everybody, that's a wrap for tonight. Definitely gonna try to get this podcast out in a couple of weeks or so. It might be next week, it might be the week after, but do a little bit of editing and everything like that. So if you got any questions about anything we talked about tonight, hit me up, hit him up. Make sure if you get on podcast, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, make sure you leave a review, make sure you leave a like. It helps out the podcast, helps me out, man. I just can't thank you for everybody that's, listened out and reached out to me about my podcast this year. It's my first year doing this. I think I'm 22 or 23 episodes in, and I'm loving life right now. It's the people I've met through social media, the people I've got to interview. I'm blessed, and I want to thank y'all for that. So, but yeah, man, y'all stay in the woods. Hit me up with any questions y'all got. Hit Kenny up with any questions y'all got. But that's a wrap. Big game, small game, all game. We do this too. Out.